What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning back in. Today, we are going to go over how we met.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking that and want to know how we met. So, yeah, this is the story on how we met. So how we met, I was training for a fight here in Las Vegas, and randomly, I don't know how I came across her on Instagram, and then I was like, oh, who's that? And she was really pretty, caught my attention. I messaged her, and basically she wasn't answering and was being dry. I don't know why, but yeah, so we still conversed though. We were talking a little bit. It was more like, hey, how's your day? And she's like, good, I'm going to sleep. Or something like that. Or what? I mean, you weren't really talking to me.
No.
She would answer like a few days later. It was only like literally like 5 texts back and forth, if that.
Yeah. So he'd ask me like, how's your day? And I'd be good, training. I was getting ready for a fight at that point in Orlando. And he would ask me, what movie you watching? I'd tell him, and then I wouldn't ask. Or no, he asked me what's my favorite movie. And then I wouldn't ask, what's your favorite movie?
But then
he would just start telling me his favorite movie, because I just wanted the conversation to end, basically.
Yeah.
I wasn't too interested because I thought he was 19. And he just looked way too young, and I wasn't interested. And yeah. So, and I was focused on just my fight, obviously.
Yeah.
So
and then that was that. Like I didn't talk to her, we didn't talk. And then I think literally like a few weeks later, now her fight is coming up, and I was going to go to that fight as well. And we go on different planes to...
Well, you were in Sacramento.
Well, yeah, I was in Sacramento. I flew back home because I wasn't going to go to the fight, and she was going to go to her fight. And then randomly I was like, okay, I'm going to go to this fight. And I didn't...
So he booked another flight. He booked another flight
from Sacramento.
From Sacramento, because his original flight was from Vegas.
Yeah.
And that flight from Sacramento had the same layover as mine
in Texas.
In Houston.
No, San Antonio.
Was it?
Yeah, not Houston.
Okay, so I'm making weight. So I'm in the corner of Shake Shack, putting a shitload of Tabasco sauce on my food, my dry ass ground turkey. And yeah, minding my business. And next thing you know, I see, I look up and it's him. But prior to that, he had passed like four or 5 times.
It was like 4, because I was on the phone and I tell this person, I was like, hey, I think that's her over there, the girl. I literally just messaged that. She's really pretty, right? And then he's like, what? No way. And then I go on Instagram and make sure that was her, and that was her. And she was over there in a corner in Shake Shack. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll see her. I'm like, for sure we're gonna go on the same flight. And
he passes by, thinks like I'm gonna see him. He passes by again.
So she's like right here, and this is our plane. So I go by, she doesn't see me. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait by the gate. You know, I wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and she's still not over here. So I'm on the phone just like, yo, where is this girl at? Waiting, just trying to kill time. So I go back over there. She's still just minding her business, eating at Shake Shack, literally, and just now being on her phone. She wasn't doing anything. She was literally in a corner looking at the wall.
I think I was watching YouTube, podcasts, something. I'm always doing that.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay. So I go back to the gate. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go up to her yet. She has to come now, but our plane is still not taking off yet. So
long story short, he did that a few times. Finally, he spoke, I think, to whoever it was, and he's just got on the call. And
so I go up to her. I walk up to her and I was like, hey, I'm Albert Ochoa.
I look up. I internally roll my eyes and say, that's the guy from Instagram that continued to send me messages.
But she was very nice to me.
And he's standing like wanting to have a conversation. I'm like, dude, I'm not in the mood. I'm cutting weight, So I was like, oh, let's go to the gate. At that point, I was like, I'm not going to sit here with him. I wanted to eat my food in peace.
So she introduces me to her team.
So I go over there and I'm like, here, sit with my trainer who's over there. And I go to the restroom, and he thinks I come back out because I was eating. He thinks I came back out, and I put on lipstick for him. But as girls, all the girls, once you finish eating, you reapply your lipstick and your lip gloss and everything like that. So he felt special.
But to me, I was like, oh, she went to the bathroom, came back, fixed her hair, put on lipstick.
So I go back, I sit away from him, and then he comes and sits next to me. So yeah. Then the flight is about to board, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna see. I told them, I was like, I'm gonna see if they have any seats. So because I wanted to get a little bit higher with extra room.
Yeah.
And it was sold out. So I was like, oh dang, it's sold out. And then he was like, oh, I'm gonna ask him too. I was like, dude, get out of here.
So anyways, she sits in the front and I'm like, hey, so we walk into the plane and she sits in the front. I'm like, and I'm in the very back, literally the last seat. And I was like, hey, I'll see you in a few hours. She's like, okay, I'll see you in a few hours. So then I go to the back of the plane and there's these 3 girls, it was taken. And they're like, oh, am I in your seat? I was like, actually you are, but just stay there. It's totally fine. So I asked the flight attendant lady, I was like, hey, can you send me over there by that girl? And she's like,
sweats.
Yeah, in the gray sweats. Yeah. So and she's like, oh, okay. And then she couldn't get me right next to her, but she got me like literally like 2 or 3 rows, but diagonal. So she could see me if she just looks. And then she like stretches.
I like put on my seatbelt and I think I stretch and then I kind of do this and I see it. I'm like, dude, what the hell? This seat was supposed to be back there. So I'm like, oh, is there anybody sitting next to him? And they said no. Or if there was, they could see in mine. Mm-hmm. So
she makes the effort now.
I'm like, oh, well, if anything, I still wasn't thinking anything at all. Never was I. It took me a very long time to start seeing him in any way other than me mentoring him in boxing or whatever I could do.
So she comes sits next to me.
Yeah, and then we talked the whole way over there.
3 or 4 hours nonstop. There was never like a pause in that break.
It made the flight go by fast, which for me helped me a lot. I appreciated that because I was making weight. So yeah,
and we realized we obviously had a lot of similarities and upbringings as well, and we got along right away. There was for me there was an instant attraction physically, but like it was literally like mentally and like how we both think was very alike, which she noticed right away.
We got to
but here's
Orlando.
But the funny part was right before it lands.
Oh my gosh, so it was pretty. That was funny because right before, like he pulls out his phone, like as we're about to land, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna text his friend to go pick him up to the airport. I don't know, something, or that his girlfriend. Who knows? I didn't know him. So the wheels finally hit. He turns around. He's like, give me your number because we had talked about going to a Thai restaurant out because I that's what I was craving at that time. He's like, oh, we'll go to Vegas. There's this one place that I really like. Yeah. So I was like, okay, he's harmless. He's not crazy, he's just young, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was like, sure. So yeah. And then I got to know him on the plane and he had a good mind and much more mature than I expected. Mm-hmm. So we got there and then I had a bus that was going to be taking us because I was going to be fighting. And I was like, why don't you just ride with us? We're going to the same hotel. So then one of my teammates brought too many people. So I was like, oh, I'll just have to order an Uber. I allowed him and I let him and his family just ride in it. And I ordered an Uber. And I didn't see a point. I mean, he was going to order an Uber too. For me, it was just me being nice. That's how I am. Anybody who knows me knows I would do that with anybody. But he thought it was special to him.
I was like, oh, now she wants me to go in the same car to the same place because we had the same hotel. So I was like, oh, now I'm even more long time. So, but we were definitely getting along. No flirting or anything like that.
No, it was just talking.
Yeah, it was talking. And then we talked and then we got to the hotel. And then as we said goodbye, I gave her a hug and then, it was just, but it was one of those hugs, like for men and women, those hugs where you hug someone and it's like, it was more than a friendly hug. Like it was very intimate, I would say. Yeah, he grabbed me a little too tight. And I was just like, all right. But she realized that. You felt my presence. Yeah, and I really liked her right away. So.
I didn't.
And then...
and then we just, through there, he helped me out to make weight. And then we came back to Vegas and I came back with a whole ass relationship.
She won her fight, by the way, too. Yeah. So we definitely, it was great.
It was not planned.
Yeah, and then we left. We went there together, on accident, and we left together on purpose. Literally.
Did you fly back on the same flight?
No, but the same airport. Mine was just on the other side.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because the promotion got her flights and everything. Yeah. I got my own on Google. And then literally 2 days later, we went on our first date. Well, 2 days later, we went out to eat.
Was it 2 days later?
It was. Oh no, the next day. Yeah, I literally.
Was it the next day?
No, it was 2 days.
Oh.
Yeah, it was 2 days. So Sunday, because you were moving back, and then Monday, I was like, hey, I have to come see you,
because that's when we went to a Thai restaurant. Yeah, I was staying at Emily's.
Yeah, so I picked
my house was being demolished.
Yeah.
I had a brand new house and then a brand new
relationship.
well, starting.
Yeah.
I didn't know. At that point I was just like, okay, cool. I'll keep my word. But yeah, it was cool. It was very unexpected.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was, and now 7 months later.
I know.
We went on, literally we hung out like every day for like 15 days. Like we were just, the only 15 days because when I had a trip planned back to my hometown.
Yeah.
We were just stuck instantly.
And for me, I was like, well, he can be very useful because I
my
just
goodness,
moved in the house.
This girl put me through so much work in this house.
To build everything, I had him build everything. So
and they were tests. She asked me, she's like, hey, so can you like build my bed?
I was testing him.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, damn, I've never built a bed in my life. I don't even have a tool bag. I don't have nothing. But I'm like, if I do it, it'll impress her, and like, so. But she's like, hey, do you want to build my bed, or I can hire someone, the Home Depot workers outside looking for work. And then in my head, I wanted to tell her, I was like, yeah, like please do that.
If he said, hire somebody, I would be like, ooh, how long have we known each other? Don't count tomorrow.
But I actually ended up doing that. I did all the beds.
It took him about 2 weeks.
I did the tables, the couches. I helped her literally with everything here, and I've had her back since.
Yeah.
And she saw that. And even though it took a long time with certain, like there's multiple beds here, one upstairs and down here. Well, there's like 3 upstairs.
Yeah.
I had to build all of them. So the one down here took the longest, and one up there I was done. So, but I did it though. I put my.
That's one thing that I did appreciate of him, and that's why I was like, okay. I still try to boot him away a few times.
Oh yeah, she definitely did.
But.
Yeah. She got mad at me on our like 3rd date. Why? No, because I took you to the basketball game.
Oh my gosh, this is so horrible.
Oh my goodness. I took her to the basketball game.
So he takes you to a freaking, he's like, for 2 weeks, he was like, we're going to go on a date or a week or some shit like that.
Yeah, because I have a relationship with the basketball team here, yeah.
So he's planning it out. He's planning it out and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, so for me, it's a whole date is planned. We're going to go there, then he wanted to take me to dinner after. So we're like, okay. So we go there, and then he asked me, where do you want to go? I'm like, and it was a Friday.
In Las Vegas.
Was it a Friday or a Saturday?
It was Saturday.
So he's like, in Sacramento, I don't have to make reservations. I'm like, well, where are you going, to McDonald's? So I was so annoyed. I'm like, you freaking planned this. And I was like, we're done. Like, I can't.
Yeah,
like,
she was mad. Like,
I was just so annoyed. Because he was making it a big deal of, I'm going to take you here. We're going to do this.
Yeah, I wanted to take you to a basketball game.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun that the whole date. And then literally as we got in the car, I was like, where do you want to go out to eat? Which is normal to ask someone. But like, I'm from a smaller, Sacramento's big, but Las Vegas, you do have to make reservations here. At any restaurant, I would say.
Well, any nicer restaurant.
Any nice restaurant.
Take me to freaking.
But like even the nice sushi restaurants, just like they're not super fancy, but they're nice.
No, those are not nice. What he's calling nice is those sushi places that goes around and you get freaking syphilis from the damn sushi.
No. Anyways, I called a few places and then they're like reservation. Everything was booked. There was an event here too, which why everything was booked. Literally, we called pizza,
it's Vegas.
sushi.
Hello, it's not Sacramento.
Yeah.
So
she was done after that, and then
I was so annoyed because I was already wanting. I was wanting for it to be done, to be honest, because I just wasn't.
She was looking for.
I wasn't comfortable at that point.
She told all her friends, her family, this dude didn't make reservations. Well, that too.
And I was just like, I don't know. I never saw myself in this situation, So for me, it was I was making his life very, very hard because I was not wanting the relationship to work.
Yeah.
So any excuse for me to end it, even the smallest, was like, I made a big deal of it because I just didn't want it to work.
Yeah.
But maybe that was a fear in me of like me actually being happy. So.
And now she loves me. Right? You love me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's how we met. Hope you enjoyed this video and
catch you on the next one.